Hi Grade 10s, welcome to another lesson for the Pre-University Academy Saturday School program. I would just like to remember that these videos are created for you and to help guide you through the pre-lesson activities. If you aren't part of the Pre-University Academy Saturday School and you've come across this channel because you've heard that there's an opinionated science educator out there who's helping grade 10s to understand some of the content and to work through some of the difficult aspects of science, welcome. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, the subscribe button is there. Hit subscribe. Grade 10s, just a reminder that the videos are there to help scaffold the idea of you engaging with blended learning materials. The study guide is your main source of information. So, as you can see there in the study guide, the first bullet point says that you must watch a video and it gives you the link. Then the second bulleted point tells you which section in the textbook to read. And then you are told that you need to do a summary of what you have read. And then finally, it tells you the last pre-lesson activity is also a video tutorial for you to do. And again, the link is there. If you click on that link, you will go directly to YouTube. Please remember that all of these pre-lesson activities are actually to prepare you for the contact session. So please make sure that you do the contact session. In terms of the diagnostic test, I haven't included it in this video because you need to log on to click up to complete the diagnostic test. And I would just like to remind you again, the point of all these pre-lesson activities is for you to be able to identify physical and chemical changes from watching videos. So make sure you can identify the difference between a physical and a chemical change based on all the things that are listed in the different videos. This information will be used in the contact session. Enjoy this session. Grade 10s, let's now start with the lesson. So this lesson is again from the knowledge area chemical change. This is lesson 13, and we are looking at physical and chemical change. Is it a chemical reaction? You have to be able to identify if something is a chemical reaction. So what you should be able to do from CAPS is, firstly, you must define and explain what is meant by a physical change and a chemical change. You need to be able to make sure that you can describe a physical and a chemical change in terms of the arrangement of particles, energy transfer, reversibility, and the conservation of mass. And finally, make sure that you can explain the conservation of mass in both physical and chemical change in terms of conservation of atoms. Let's now look at the lesson schedule for this lesson. Firstly, pre-lesson activity 1 is a video tutorial. This should not take you more than 10 minutes because the video is very short. Pre-lesson activity 2 is a textbook engagement and summary exercise. This might take you about 30 minutes as you make your summary. Pre-lesson 3 is another video tutorial that will now consolidate the things you have learned. Obviously, then you will come to the contact session, which will not be included in the time that I'm giving you here, but that's where we will meet in class on Saturday. Then the post-lesson activities, the first is a video tutorial, again to summarize what you have learned, and post-lesson 2 activity 2 is a practice from the textbook. That should take 30 minutes. Remember, when you see that pause button, hit pause so that you can do the activity. All the textbook activities are taken from the Siavula science textbook range, everything science, because it's online, so you can use it online as well. And then the video tutorials are all from YouTube, which is a wonderful source of information if you want to summarize for exams. So, time about 90 minutes without the diagnostic test and the contact session. So, it's about 1 minute for 1 minute. 1 minute contact time, 1 minute online time. Okay, for this activity or for this lesson, make sure you have a notebook to write in, your pen to take notes, highlighters and color pencils for the summary, and obviously a quiet place to work in that has access to the internet. It is very important that you understand the difference between a physical and a chemical change. Because this difference is so important, I've made sure that you are looking at the difference between a physical and a chemical change in more than one way. Through the videos, through the textbooks and the way you make the summary, and finally just to check that you know the difference by looking at the second video tutorial at the end of this video. So let's get ready to learn. Pre-lesson activity 1. This is a video tutorial. Please make sure you open the video on YouTube. You can open a tab right now. There is the link. It's called Physical and Chemical Changes. This video is from Welcome Moo Moo Math and Science. Interesting name, and it does deal with physical changes. It's animated and chemical changes. Pause the video now. Pre-lesson activity 2, textbook engagement. Now for this section you will be going, or for this activity you will be going to section or chapter 13 and looking at 13.1, the introduction only. Just noted that should read pre-lesson activity 2. So what you have to do as you read through this part of the textbook is tell me what is similar about a chemical and physical change and what is different about a chemical and physical change. So what you need to do, find the definition first, scroll down, write down the definition of a physical change. Then underneath that, in bulleted points, you must then tell me what happens to the arrangement of the particles with a physical change. What happens to the conservation? Is mass conserved during a physical change? What energy changes take place? And is the process reversible? Those are the 4 things you need to look at. Now scroll down to where you will find a chemical change, the definition for a chemical change. Write down the definition of a chemical change. Underneath that, you will do the same thing. Look for those 4 points. Tell me what happens to the arrangement of particles in a chemical change. What energy changes take place? Okay. Are chemical reactions reversible? Is mass conserved during a chemical change? Now, I just want to go through with you how you should be making a bulleted summary. It is not like that shopping list there. That's far too short. So this I got from Grammarly's blog. So I'm going to demonstrate you the power of bulleted points with a list of tips for writing awesome ones. So think of a bullet point as a mini headline. It must be concise, in other words, short and attention grabbing. Highlight elements key to understanding the content of your summary. Don't add extra fluff here, only what's important and what you want to remember. And keep it simple. You're trying to summarize work you want to revise for later. Don't make it complicated. Keep the bullet points thematically related. In other words, bullet point for chemical change must be about particles. Bullet point for physical change must also be about particles. So keep your points on track. Stay on topic. Then make your bullet points symmetrical. Okay. In your mind, you want these ordered set of facts. So make sure your bulleted points are one after the other. Did you notice that I'm beginning this with a bolded sentence or with a bolded statement and then just adding one sentence to summarize? Remember, work with keywords. This is a summary. Don't write more than you need to help you remember. And don't overdo it. In other words, don't summarize it to the point where it's a shopping list. Pause the video now. Grade 10s, I hope that you found that short insert on how to make a bulleted point summary useful. I want to just remind you that your summaries that you make could be put in a file, put away, and revised on a regular basis so that you remember it more. The more you repeat something, the more you will remember. And making summaries is a good way for you to show that you've understood the work. Pre-lesson activity 3, video tutorial 2. There is the YouTube link, and that is where you can find the video on physical and chemical changes. Now, the reason I'm doing 2 separate video tutorials here is because the purpose of this video is different from any of the other lessons where I'm trying to let you go through a lot of content. I want you to consolidate what you know and to actually prepare for the contact session. This video is from preschool, and the reason I want you to go there is it talks about physical changes and chemical changes, and it lists 4 important points to help you distinguish between a physical and a chemical change. I want you to look out for that list because that gives you 4 facts about a physical change and a chemical change. You will use this in the lesson. Pause the video now. So grade 10s, that's it for this lesson. That's all 3 pre-lesson activities that need to be done before I see you on Saturday. I hope that you have found that these videos are helping you a little bit. Blended learning is often a type of learning that happens mostly with adults with training, so the expectation is a lot. You're being asked to be responsible for part of your learning. And for teenagers, remember how I've compared you to electrons? Okay, it's very difficult. So the fact that you're trying and you're trying to engage means that I will continue to make sure that I do whatever is necessary to help you be successful. So thanks for joining me, and I'm going to end by showing you how I put most of this video together, thanks to Eskom. See you on Saturday. So to make sure that this lesson is uploaded on ClickUp on time, sometimes we have to go to extreme lengths thanks to Eskom. Here I am working by candlelight to get this done for you. What you need to remember is great things are done by a series of small things brought together. Keep working, grade 10s.